What is going on, my people, on these YouTube streets? Before I even begin, I'm kind of reminded because I was looking through my comment sections and YouTube, and I found that Macho had challenged me to okay, let's go subs for subs, views for views. Yeah, that was pretty funny. It's something that happened like maybe a month back. No, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks back. It still gives me a chuckle because I didn't remove my aspect of the conversation, so the full conversation was still up. You know, it just you know this isn't even my real channel. So if he wants to fight with my real channel, my views on there, does he know how many views I have on my real channel? I do art tutorials. I have one video that's 13,000 views, another one that's 37,000 views, another one that's 5,000 views. Does he have anything like that? See, it's the problem when someone gets too in their macho feelings. You know what I mean? Oh, look, it's very relevant because his name's Macho. People get, they swell their chest up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they have no idea what's underneath the surface of the water they want to jump into. You know what I mean? It reminded me of Rush Hour 2.
I'll be back. I'll be back. Ricky. Ricky Tan. Get up, dog. Let's go. Come on. I've been looking for you everywhere. Let's go.
I'm busy at the moment.
Ricky, did you hear what I just said? I'm busy too now. Get on your feet. Get up. Get on your feet.
I know you. You are Lee's American friend, right?
No, I'm Lee's new muscle. And don't let this robe fool you. This is the only color they had left. Now I said get up. I ain't gonna say it again.
You Americans are so funny.
And you Asians don't hear that well. Little Ricky, get your little punk ass up out of that chair right now. Messing up my vacation. I told you to get up, didn't I?
When you mess with somebody, you never know what they have. So just don't. You know what I mean? Just don't. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. I should have taken him up on it. All right. So that I could like lord it over him. But, I kind of let it go. I let it go. But, there are a lot of things have been happening on these YouTube streets, everywhere on these YouTube streets. But I did want to get into the main zeitgeist of information that's out there. What's going on in the actual world, in the open ecosystem of the environment we all live in, we all share. And so Candace Owens is in the news again. She can't stay out of the news, you know? And she is an example of what I call aggressive cowards. For her, she's an aggressive coward and she's an exploiter. She's exploiting. If you're a closeted racist conservative out there, you know the type. The police can do no wrong. If they gun down a black kid who's 7 years old, well, that little boy. Well, no, they don't. If a black boy is 7 years old, he's a man. Damn it, that man should have known not to tuck his hand in his waistband. That cop didn't know what was in his pants. All right. So if you're one of those guys, Candace Owen is taking advantage of you. She's taking advantage of you. She's an aggressive coward, yes, but she's also an exploiter. Now, when I say aggressive coward, one of the things I mean, give me a second here. Let me find this video because there was a video I had of this guy. While that's uploading, let me talk to you guys. So, an aggressive coward is someone who you're trying to get ahead in life, or you're trying to surmount a dangerous situation, right? And because the person who's with you or who's in the same camp as you is afraid to death, they're petrified of what will happen. They don't redirect all their energy towards the task at hand. They route all of their frustration, all their fear, and all of the negative energy, they point it right towards you. Why aren't you afraid? Huh? Why aren't you petrified like I am, huh? Huh? Why are you so brave? Don't you see what the danger is? Huh? Why aren't you scared? They're aggressive cowards. And you find that a lot with black conservatives like Jesse Lee Peterson, like Brandon Tatum. See, at least Jesse Lee is a calm, aggressive coward. So he'll ask you, why aren't you afraid of this oppression, huh? But he'll tell it to you in a funny way. Oh, you a beta male, beta male. Racism doesn't exist. It don't exist. Okay? Another aggressive coward. I think you've seen him before.
You niggas are crazy. Black people, let me tell y'all something. If you don't ever hear me say preach again, they can kill me tomorrow. But let me tell you something. We're not going to ever get anywhere until we look into the mind of a black man. He doesn't think correctly. I don't care what he is. He can be a doctor. He can be an astrophysicist. The nigga ain't got no sense. You talk to him. You talk to a black man. He doesn't understand the world. He's never built anything. The most the black people have ever done, they did it here in America under white people's help. When they were in Africa, they didn't do nothing.
He's an example of an aggressive coward. Trade centers, people have tables out to have commerce. There was some sort of castle with glass, and another merchant wrote a check to somebody for 10,000 dinars or something like that. They were trading, some sort of goods, and services. All these things were happening. And it's one of the reasons why they also want to disconnect you from Egypt, from Kush, from Aksum, from all these different places that now exist, that they were made in stone. At least the cities that I mentioned before, that the Europeans had the sketches of, at least those cities were made of wood, twine, as well as some mud and all these different things that were perishable because ancient people lived in commune with the planet. We didn't do things that would, choke the planet with glass, metal, and glass, metal, and concrete. That wasn't our thing. But even so, people like the Axumites, the Cushites, the Nubians, the Egyptians, right? Yes, I'm a proponent of Black Egypt. So these people made their things out of stone. And since they made it out of stone, it's hard to ignore. It's hard to ignore. They can't bury it. They can't burn it to the ground like they did those massive cities that there were sketches of. Since they can't do that, and the stones are there forever, they divided you from Africa. You're sub-Saharans now. You're sub-Saharans now, as if you weren't in every corner of that continent. It's amazing. Amazing. Right, Jesse Lee Peterson? This is what they do. They separate you from that. And so Black people did build things. They built Axum, they built Nubia, they built Egypt, they built, what else, the Great Zimbabwe. They built great things. There are a bunch of castles. There are a bunch of castles there. It was Moors who built them. There are a bunch of castles in Spain, Italy, all these different places in the Mediterranean, upper Mediterranean, and even reaching up a little bit past that were built by Moors. But then they try to disconnect you from the Moorish lineage as well. The Moors weren't black. We was Kangs, now we were Moors. yeah, there were black Moors. There were some Arab Moors too. But generally speaking, when someone said Moor, they meant black. So that tells you how heavy the number of black Moors were. But they'll disconnect you from that so that they can supply the fodder so that aggressive cowards like the guy whose video I just played can say, y'all never built nothing. Y'all niggas is crazy. That's what they do. They're aggressive cowards. The guy whose video I just played, he's an aggressive coward. Here's another aggressive coward. Now, the thing is, a lot of times these aggressive cowards have truth in some of what they say. But then they straw man they provide straw man arguments, and they attack that straw man argument as if it's the complete truth, the unadulterated 1,000,000% truth. Meanwhile, it's only about, I don't know, 5, 10% true. Here's the aggressive coward I'm talking about. He went viral, by the way.
When you talk about critical race theory, which is pretty much going to be teaching kids how to hate each other, how to dislike each other, that's pretty much what it's going to, that's pretty much, I don't care what you say, it's pretty much what it's going to all come down to. You're going to deliberately teach kids, this white kid right here got it better than you because he white? You're going to personally tell a white kid, oh, the black people are all down and suppressed. How do I have 2 medical degrees if I'm sitting here oppressed? How did I get, first of all, time up, because I only got 5 minutes now, 5 minutes. 2 medical degrees. No mom, no dad in the house. Worked my way through college. Sat there and hustled my butt off to get through college. You gonna tell me somebody that looked like all y'all white folks kept me from doing that? Are you serious? Not one white person ever came to me and say, well, son, you're never going to be able to get nowhere because you know the black people. But guess what? What's sickening about this whole thing is what y'all doing right now is already something I do in my community right now to speak out against stuff because black folks are getting told by other black folks, oh, you know you ain't going to be able to do nothing out there in the world because them white folks ain't going to let you get no, oh, you know you're not going to be able to do it here because you know, the white man going to keep you down. Well, how did I get where I am right now?
Now, the thing is, I think he'll get the point when those doctorates he has. I don't know if he's a medical doctor. He said medical degrees, right? So I don't know if he's a pediatrician, podiatrist, or whatever. What's going to be funny is when he boards an airplane, someone is choking, and then they're like, is there a doctor on the plane? And he raises his hands, and then the white stewards and flight attendants tell him to sit the fuck down. That's when he'll get it. That's when he'll get it. Right now, he doesn't get it. But then, even then, he probably still won't get it. He'll be on the plane, and the thing is, I don't bring that anecdote out of nowhere. I didn't pull it, out of my ear. That anecdote was a black doctor who was on an airplane, and someone was having a medical emergency, and they asked, "Is there a doctor on the plane?" She raised her hand and was about to come to the rescue when the flight attendants told her to sit a black ass down. Okay? Sit a black ass down. Let's get an actual doctor. So maybe he'll get the point then. Maybe. Now, the thing is, all the things he said about you shouldn't let anyone keep you from your goals and stuff like that. That's true. That's true. As a black conservative, as a conservative, period, I'm a heavy proponent of that. How many times do I preach that on here? Let nobody, no matter what color, what creed, what gender, what background, what nationality, what species, keep you the fuck from what you're trying to do. Don't let anyone do that. However, he couched that truth in a whole bunch of aggressive cowardice. Notice all the white people behind him. And I'm not saying that they're normal white people. I'm saying these closet conservatives. Notice the closet white supremacist conservatives behind them, all that clapping. Woo! We found ourselves a wind-up toy nigga that we can wind up the gear on his back and then set him loose at you. Look at the guy's eyes. You can tell he's not normal. He's not even normal. Why is it these aggressive cowards always look like that? Eyes too close together, cheeks too far apart. You ever look at him again?
When you talk about critical race theory, which is pretty much going to be teaching kids how to hate each other, how to dislike each other, that's pretty much what it's going to, that's pretty much, I don't care what you say, it's pretty much what it's going to all come down to. You're going to deliberately teach kids, this white kid right here got it better than you because he white? You're going to personally tell a white kid, oh, the black people are all down and suppressed. How do I have 2 medical degrees if I'm sitting here oppressed? How did I get, first of all,
Does it look like a runaway slave? Eyes bucking. How do I get 2 medical degrees if I'm oppressed? Okay, yeah, that's your personal success, dude. People can have personal successes in a system that oppresses the general population. That happens. That happens a lot. No one's saying that you didn't face adversity, like regular adversities, like monetary adversity, learn the massive labor intensive nature of the craft that you're undertaking. Yeah, those things matter too, and it took a lot of personal perseverance or personal strength in order for you to achieve that. I don't take anything from you, dude, but the way you're acting now, it's like you're disregarding every other obstacle that exists to systematically keep some people behind. All right. Again, as a conservative, I say fuck those obstacles. You know what? Yeah, I eat that. Obstacle, fuck it. I eat that. Num 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 num. Whatever. What's next? So I'm about that. But however, two things can be correct at the same time. Two things can be correct at the same time. Now, that's enough of this and that. Let's go ahead and move on to the main topic. Candace Owens is in the news again, and she's quite angry that a legislation has passed making Juneteenth a federal holiday. Tonight on the Brotep Show. It looks like there we go.
You, turn around.
You prefer the view from behind?
No, well, yes. You know I can't lie.
Nowadays, conservative talking points are a trick bag, and we all have to be aware of that. Even us conservatives, black conservatives, we have to be very much awake and have our ears perked up and basically our antennas keen on picking out the trick bags. Be like, you know what? Nah, we're not doing that. Okay? So, what we gonna do about Candace Owens, man? Okay, here we go. Hold on. Let me,
being hyperbolic, but I mean, I'm sure you've seen these Chinese kids on calculators. They're absurd. While our children are being told that they should major in gender studies, while our children can't pass basic mathematic exams, while our children are completely illiterate, especially Black Americans, obviously being the group that is suffering the most academically because they're being told that they need critical race theory. They need to learn about race and slavery and Juneteenth. Did I mention Juneteenth? We need a holiday to celebrate Juneteenth. That's what our politicians should be doing. Our communities are completely distressed, but hey, let's do Juneteenth. Candace is a bad person. Let's all go talk about Candace while their children are able to calculate things that the average American child would just be completely lost in a classroom with 5-year-olds that are trying.
yo, what we gonna do about Candace Owens, y'all? Coon Dance Owens. What we gonna do about her, y'all? She is always angry. Why she always this angry? Yo. Yo, what we gonna do about Candace Owens? Y'all need to tell me, man. I don't know, like send a girl a gift basket, fucking truffles and cheeses, assorted cheeses, and fruit, some chocolate truffles, maybe some vouchers and coupons to some sort of all-day spa, right? We got to do something, because to be grumpy all the time like this, do you ever detect any video when she's happy? She's always this grumpy, right? Any video you catch of her, she's always this grumpy and yelling at black people, looking down her nose. Look how she places the camera whenever she's talking to black people. See, when she's talking to, I guess, what she believes are her white peers, it's the camera's leveled up to her eye line. When she's talking to us, look, Don't take my word for. Look at the camera angle when she's talking. Look.
Being hyperbolic, but I mean, I'm sure you've seen these Chinese kids on calculators. They're absurd. While our children are being told that they should major in gender studies, while our children can't pass basic mathematic exams, while our children are completely illiterate.
The eye line, our eye line as the viewer, is around the top of her lip. She's looking down at us. What we gonna do about Candace Owens? We gotta do something. I don't know. Send her some kind of what do you call them though? Those flowers, and then no, maybe a singing telegram or something. We gotta do something about Candace Owens. She gonna fuck around and catch an aneurysm, one of these days, yo. That's what's gonna happen. And the things that she was talking about, right? Two things can be true at the same time. Black people do suffer academically in this country. Yes, that's absolutely true. But what does that have to do with having one day in the year where we get to celebrate, oh, this was the day that we were officially free? What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with, okay, so if we don't, let me ask now. Candace, if you happen to, I know you're vain enough, look at how you place the camera when you're talking to us. So you're vain enough to search your name on YouTube. If you happen to chance upon this video and you stuck around so long to hear me talk about you, let me ask you a question personally. When Black people across the nation here have their barbecues and drink their little wine coolers and shake their ass on in the dance floor of their of their backyard or whatever, right? How does that take away any more from their academic achievements than has already been taken away? That one day, how does that impact their academic achievement that one day? So basically, never mind the choppers you hear up there, y'all. I'm no longer part of the cartel, and I flushed all the remaining coke down the toilet. If you heard that chopper overhead, I don't know if you heard it. The mic is weird. My microphone is weird. It probably picks up all my breathing and all my turns whenever I speak. When my lips come together, it amplifies it like I'm smacking my lips. So it's that sensitive. But then there could be World War IV going on outside and you don't hear it. There was a whole chopper up there looking for narcos. And you guys didn't hear a damn thing. That's the kind of microphone I have. Y'all need to hit that Cash App so a nigga can get something proper. Now, Candace, how does celebrating that one day impact any of the things you said? That the Chinese kids can do math without calculators? Good on them. I love it. I love displays of intelligence. I love the possession of intelligence. So those Chinese kids, those Asian kids who are doing that, good on them. And if they could impart some of that, I don't know, some of the techniques onto our people, our Black people, I would love it. But what does that have to do with us getting this one day of the year where we celebrate the fact that we're no longer slaves? This is what I was talking about with the aggressive cowardice. Candace, I mean, you know what? She's more than an aggressive coward. She's also an exploiter. She's basically milking those closet racists for money. That's what she's doing. Most of her base, if you go on any of her videos, when she spoke to any of the I don't know, at some point she probably spoke to Charles Murray. She's the type to have spoken to him, and then when he says, Black people have lower IQ, and then she's like, yes, exactly, that's what I've been telling them, right? No, she probably won't bug. She won't say it with her chest like that towards a white guy. She'll definitely, yeah, that's what I've been telling them. And then when the guy leaves and she cuts on her little janky cell phone, seriously, sis, with all the money you're making off your book sales, you couldn't get a better cell phone than this. And the other thing is, you couldn't get a cell phone that has rotate on the screen while we're watching you vertically, when the format to view things online generally it's horizontal. I don't understand. Unless that's a TikTok video. Was it a TikTok video? I can't really tell. I got it off of YouTube. And so when you have a lot of these aggressive cowards you really have to double check anything they say. Such as when the father, when that father was talking about how, ain't nobody white ever kept them from doing anything. Okay, that's fine, bro. That's fine. And I applaud you for that. And if you have children, I hope your children inherit your sense of determination and your drive. I hope they do. But when you're casting aspersions on the rest of black people, right? And here's the other thing. I'm not a proponent of critical race theory. That might surprise you, being what this channel is, or this channel being what it is. I'm not a proponent of it. Critical race theory, from everything I've read so far, sounds like something you should be teaching your kids at home. School shouldn't be teaching you that. School should not be teaching you about, race relations and, systematic, supremacy and all these different things. That's one. Number two, school should not be teaching you how to jerk off. Like that first grade of video teaching the kids how to masturbate. Number three, schools shouldn't be teaching you about all kinds of genders and this kind of trans person and it's okay to be gay. All those different things we should be teaching our kids at home. When I have children, I want the discretion of choosing when I touch on each of those topics with my son or daughter. That's what I want. So I'm not even a proponent of critical race theory. I think that belongs out of school and in your own home. But even that being the case, this guy's an aggressive coward. He's sitting here, he's a crowd pleaser. Look, we got a happy Negro dancing for us. And then Candace Owens is sitting up here looking down at us. Again, look at when she's speaking to white people, the camera's upper. When she's speaking to us, the camera's at the lower line of her upper lip. That's where our eye line is. I wouldn't say it's on purpose. I think it's subconscious, and that's worse. If it was on purpose, at least we know she's trolling. But if it's subconscious, that means she has a natural disdain for black people. That's what that means. And I do feel bad for many of the things that happened to her. Like when she made an unfortunate comment about Hitler, which the comment was wrong. The comment she made about Hitler was wrong. It's pretty stupid. What did she say? There's nothing wrong with nationalism. Hitler did what he did, and there was nothing wrong with what he did, except that he had his sights on other countries. Well, even within his own country, Candace, I know you'll be watching this because you look at your name on social media platforms to see what people are saying about you. You'll see this. It's not that I'm a big channel. It's because you're so egotistical. You'll see this. Hitler did horrible things even within his own borders. So no, where Hitler went wrong was not when he went outside of his borders. No, Candace, he was doing horrible shit even within his borders. Now, where I feel bad for her is even with her comment being as awful as it is, the media, again, those are the compendiums of control. The media that want to put all of us at each other's throats, the media twisted her words up to make it sound even worse. Oh yeah, she's backing up what Hitler, she's all pro-Hitler. She said Hitler did nothing wrong. She didn't say that. There was nuance to what she said. It was wrong. What she said was unbelievably stupid. But what she said was not evil or malevolent. There was no malevolence in her words, just stupidity. You have to make a distinction between stupid and evil. What she said was stupid, not evil. Anyway, that's been the show, or at least this one. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications if you're on any social. Wait a minute. I forgot that at some point it has to be reading time. It's reading time with your Negro, Brotep. Before you guys go, for those of you who don't know about Juneteenth, because I found myself the other day, about 2 or 3 days ago, maybe 2 days ago, that's why I came on late in some of these streams, right? I found myself in long conversations having to explain what Juneteenth is to people, and I don't even completely know what Juneteenth is, but with the little that I know, I found myself having to explain what Juneteenth is to people who knew even less about it than I do. So, for the sake of clarity and information, let's go through what Juneteenth actually is. All right. I'm not a huge subscriber to what goes on Wikipedia, but a lot of times for general information, they tend to be correct. Okay. So, let's go ahead and look through some of this here. Share screen. Man, hopefully you guys can see this. Let's go ahead and read that. Juneteenth. Juneteenth, officially Juneteenth, National Independence Day, and historically known as Jubilee Day, Black Independence Day, and Emancipation Day, is a federal holiday in the United States commemorating emancipation of African American slaves. It is also often observed. Well, I can't speak tonight. It is also often observed for celebrating African American culture. Originating again, see, I can't speak tonight. You know what? Let's start fresh. Juneteenth, officially Juneteenth, National Independence Day, and historically known as Jubilee Day, Black Independence Day, and Emancipation Day, is a federal holiday in the United States commemorating emancipation of African American slaves. It is also often observed for celebrating African American culture. Originating in Galveston, Texas, it has been celebrated annually on June 19 in various parts of the United States since 1866. The day was recognized as a federal holiday on June 17, just now. June 17, 2021. That is what is stuck in Candace Owens' craw. That's what's stuck in her craw and what has her so bitter and angry and unnerved, like, right? She reminds me of that dude. Who that nigga up on that nag? I said, who that nigga up on that nag? She reminded me of Steven from Django. That's who she reminded me. She was so angry when this passed just now, June 17th. When President Joe Biden, let's not make a Jesus Christ figure out of Joe Biden for doing this now. we have to remember his name is still Jim Crow Joe. All right. So anyway, when President Joe Biden signed the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act into law, Juneteenth's commemoration is on the anniversary of the date of June 19, 1865. Announcement of General Order Number 3 by Union Army General Gordon Granger. That is a badass name. Gordon Granger. You know what I'll do? I'm going to make a name of a hero out of that. All right, Gordon Granger. Proclaiming freedom for slaves in Texas. President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation of 1862 had officially outlawed slavery in Texas and other states that had rebelled against the Union almost 2.5 years earlier. Enforcement of the proclamation generally relied on the advance of Union troops. Texas, as the most remote of the slave states, had seen an expansion of slavery and had a low presence of Union troops as the American Civil War ended. Thus, enforcement there had been slow and inconsistent prior to Granger's announcement. Although the Emancipation Proclamation declared an end to slavery in the Confederate States, slavery was still legal and practiced in 2 Union border states, Delaware and Kentucky. Kentucky. The state of Kentucky. Delaware, the state of Kentucky. Until December 6, 1865, when ratification of 13th Amendment of the Constitution abolished chattel slavery nationwide. Additionally, Indian territories that had sided with the Confederacy, namely the Choctaw, were the last to release those slaves in 1866. Celebrations date to 1866, at first involving church-centered community gatherings in Texas. The church used to be an ally to Black empowerment, believe it or not. It spread across the South and became more commercialized in the 1920s and 30s, often centering on food festival. Participants in the Great Migrations out of the South carried their celebrations to other parts of the country. During the civil rights movement of the 1960s, these celebrations were eclipsed by the struggle of post-war civil rights, but grew into popularity again in the 1970s with the focus of African American freedom and African American arts. As of 2021, South Dakota is the only state that does not recognize Juneteenth. Wow, really? South Dakota, get your game up. Get your game up, South Dakota. As of 2021, South Dakota is the only state that does not recognize Juneteenth, according to the Congressional Research Service. North Dakota approved recognition of Juneteenth on April 13th, 2021, with Hawaii becoming the 49th state to recognize the holiday on June 16th, 2021. So maybe what Candace can do, Candace Owens, maybe you can move out to South Dakota, right? Move out to South Dakota. They still won't observe it. Modern observance is primarily in local celebrations. Traditions include public readings of the Emancipation Proclamation, singing traditional songs such as Swing Low, Sweet Chariots, and Lift Every Voice and Sing, right? And reading of the works noted by African American writers such as Ralph Ellison, Maya Angelou. Celebrations include rodeos, street fairs, cookouts, family reunions, park parties, historical reenactments, and Miss Juneteenth contests. That must be awesome. A Miss Juneteenth contest. Is it like a some sort of gala or a pageant? What is it? Anyway, Juneteenth is also celebrated by the Muskogos, descendants of Black Seminoles, Black Seminoles, who escaped from the U.S. slavery in 1852 and settled in. Oh no, how am I going to pronounce this? Coahuila, Mexico. Mexicans who, the people who happen to still be here, because niggas hate reading and they even hate the sound of other niggas reading. So I imagine if I go back on this, there'll be 5 people in the room. 15. All right. I'm doing 3 times that. That's good. But those of you who are not Negroes, who are Mexican, right? Let me know how to pronounce how to pronounce this. Coahuila, Mexico. Juneteenth is the first new federal holiday since Martin Luther King Jr. Day was declared in as a holiday in 1986. All right. So that's Juneteenth, y'all. That's Juneteenth. That's the holiday. That's the one day in the year where, Black people will get together, get that endorphin rush, the same as being in church. You get that amphetamine, those endorphins running when you're in the church. Amen, amen, hey, right? But instead of praising that to God, lifting it up to the Lord, you're going to lift it up to your people. What is wrong with that? Candace Owens, Candace Owens, finds something very wrong with it. Anytime Black people get a win, no matter how small the win, because this changes nothing. Mind you, this changes nothing. Systematic oppression still exists. It shouldn't get in your way. As a conservative, I'm telling you that. But it exists. 2 things can exist at the same time. Personal free will and determination can exist alongside systematic discrimination. Right? Just don't let it get in your way. Think of it as another hurdle. That's it. And then keep it pushing. However, Juneteenth does not change any of that. Juneteenth is one day where Black people get together, and even I, as a Haitian, I was going around, not congratulating, I was going around telling many African Americans around me, Happy Juneteenth, Happy Juneteenth. And they were delighted. They were like, Happy Juneteenth to you. They know I'm Haitian because I told them this before. And, you know, it gives you, it swells you up with a sense of togetherness and pride. Yes, you guys did it. You guys did it. But it hurts Candace Owens' feelings. At this point, it's like sunlight to a vampire. Black empowerment is sunlight to a vampire when it comes to dealing with Candace Owens. Any win that black people achieve, no matter how small. Critical race theories, again, I'm against it. I think it should be taught at home, but many are seeing it as a win if critical race theory is taught in schools. Candace Owens came out against it. Juneteenth is recognized as a federal holiday. One day, 24 hours where if somebody doesn't want to celebrate it, and that's the other thing too. That's the other thing too. Let's say you're one of these daughters of the Confederacy or one of these guys, like the woman who spray painted on the statue of York. York was, see, we hear stories about Lewis and Clark, not the 1980s show that my sister used to make me cut my fucking cartoons off in order for her to watch, right? Not that show, but the real Lewis and Clark. The real Lewis and Clark, where these two explorers supposedly tamed America, right? They're two adventurers. You know what I mean? You hear some Hans Zimmer music, dun 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 dun, right? You're hearing all that stuff while they're paddling in canoes, and Indians are chucking arrows at them. Duck down, Lois! I got you, Clark! All that shit. So it turns out that's all a lie. Turns out their trek across the country was relatively peaceful because there was a whole black man with them who spoke all those native tongues and who would introduce them to tribes like, hey, guys, don't mind these two white boys. You know, don't kill them. If you do me a favor, don't scalp them. Don't scalp them. They good. They good. They good. Give them that white boy pass. They good. They good. Turns out there was a guy named York, a whole black man who was enslaved. He was inherited. His slave bill was passed down to, I don't know, either Lewis or Clark, one of those white guys, right? So he belonged to one of their uncles or something like that, and then he got passed down to one of them, to them. And this black man happened to be, you know, very strapping, you know, man, and he had connections to most of these tribes, and so they used him to go through the country and kind of like do the exploration thing with him as the buffer. Okay. And so we're just finding out about this. I had no idea. And I found out, you know, when I found out? When the lady spray painted over his monument. I'll be covering that probably next. You know? But anyhow, for real this time, this has been our show. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. If you're on any social media platform, go ahead and share this link to this video, to this platform. We need to grow this channel up. Right now, it's 150, I don't know, 3 or something like that. We need to get it to like 300. Can we get it to 300, fam? Spartan! What is your occupation? Oh, get me 300 Spartans, man. Get me 300. Let's do this. And I also am working on kind of, it's not really a story, but it's more like, you see, regular white people get a bad rap, man. They get a bad rap. I found a few channels because I'm a great lover of culture. I'm a culturophile. Okay. And I'm really into Thor, Tyr, Odin, and all the Norse mythology. Frigga, you know, Nephilim, Loki. And I found a few channels where you have to pronounce the names properly. They help you pronounce the names the traditional way, like according to Icelandic phonetics. And I found out that those people were never racist. So all the swastikas and SS symbols and all these different things, they've been co-opted, family. And I'll be working on a video of that where we have our Nordic brothers again. I'm not anti-white. Where we have our Nordic brothers tell us, and sisters, and I should have said sisters first, because the first channel I found was a woman named Hafna. She'll have to pronounce her own name on her own video when I screen cap that, right? And she explains, how to pronounce names and da 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 da. No racism in it. No racism in it. So it's a small distinct. It's a sprinkle of assholes in a whole bowl of, I don't know, fruit or whatever, and they poison the whole bowl. They poison the whole bowl. So our Nordic brothers up there, we're gonna find out from them. Nordic brothers and sisters, we're gonna find out from them, the true meaning of some of these symbols, and that they have nothing to do with racism. They don't cover that. I'll be covering that. Because Iceland, 2 years ago, they tried to ban the use of those symbols, and the Icelandic people, they criticized their government. They were like, why? We've this is our alphabet. We've been using this stuff for the longest time. Why should we do it? And they're like, hello, Nazis. And they're like, no, hello, we're not Nazis, right? So anyhow, I'm glad you guys stopped by to hear me ramble on and on. But the show must come to an end. That's all she wrote. End of broadcast in 3, 2, 1. Have a lovely, lovely time wherever you happen to be in, whatever time of day it is. Morning, afternoon, evening. Peace out.